enough to keep track of like proper settings and stuff. So if this is too loud or too quiet, just let me know. Get rid of that. I'm not a professional streamer. But yeah, Mia, it's like a rice cake that has like this sugar type thing on top, and it's actually really, really good. My wife and I both like it, and I wish I could tell you exactly what the name of it was so you could get it yourself, but I cannot read whatever language it is in. I also hope the stream quality is okay. Let me know if it's just a little jittery. And I'll turn the bitrate down a little bit. Anyways, it fixes. And Mia, you are truly missing out. So anyways, this is the Nature Museum, which is my like little personal laboratory of museum stuff. And I'm gonna turn down my own music because this is loud. This is where I kind of try out new and wild ideas that I have for exhibits, but I don't necessarily want to put them in an official museum. If you haven't been here, it's on the Goblet, or in the Goblet on Marlborough, but it has a rock, is like an earth. It has a little nature museum. For a hot second, for about like a week, this had like every plant item, and then they added 30 more, and I just didn't update anymore. And then in the basement, I had a large tank, but it was really dull and boring, and I wanted to redo it. So what I ended up doing was yanking the whole thing out. I pulled out the entire thing, and I'm now doing, because it was a saltwater exhibit for deep water saltwater fish. I just completely pulled it out, decided to do freshwater rocktica fish. And that's where we're at now. So there's 9 tanks, I think, in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 9. There's 9 tanks in this whole thing. 9 tier 4s. And I'm going to fill it, hopefully by the end of the day, with every fish that you can get out of Rocktica that can go into an aquarium, which admittedly isn't many, but they're all really neat to begin with. And the one thing that I wanted to point out that I'm going to be doing some research on is a lot of the Rocktica fish, especially the ones in Lake Tusimecta, are albino, like diamond tongue, Ampus handmade, which is that's an aquarium fish, which I love. The Arawanas, one of those. I really enjoy. Wait, does Central Lake Tusimecta and Southern Lake Tusi, they have the exact same fish in their, why do they exist? This thing is dense as it is. It's like, it just has a Ronkin plank. Anyways, so there's a handful of them. I'm mostly going to be using Pipras. This whole back tank here is actually inspired. I went to the Camden Aquarium, which isn't too far from here, down near Philadelphia, and they had a whole thing that was, let me see what's going on here. They had a whole tank, and it was just full of like piranha and fish that piranha don't eat, and it was actually really cool. So I kind of wanted to rebuild it a bit here. It might be CH. Also, I'm getting an error that video buffering is happening, so let me know if that is true, because if it's stuttering on my end, I can just kill the bitrate a little bit. Oh, actually, let me do that now. Settings, output, we'll kick that down to 30, we'll just do 3000. Yet for some odd reason, it says it's streaming at, I am not a professional streamer, so I have no idea how this works. So give me a quick second to figure out why is it saying that? Does my bitrate does my audio bitrate need to be that high? Probably not. Okay, I've kicked it down to 3000 and I've dropped my audio down a little bit, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. Let me know if that helps at all, because I'm seeing on my end it's a little choppy, but again, hashtag professional streamer. Not really. One of these days I will remember and I will write down all the settings, or I'll look them up. Right, so where was I last night? Last night, when I tweeted this out the other day, and what I ended up doing, actually, I wonder if I just pause that. What I ended up doing was blocking out kind of the overall flow, and if you saw my tweet about that, I talked about it. But basically, hey Wrath, basically what I wanted to do was block everything out and get a rough idea of what it's going to look like, and then get in some of the other details. So we're going to take a field trip, everyone into the Magic School Bus, over to Raktika, and I'm going to show off what I'm replicating here. I do not like round aetheryte plazas because I always have to do at least 720 degrees for that to work. And let me know if the issue is still coming through, because I am not 100% sure what's going on with that. But it's only telling me that my stream status is bad as of like 3 minutes ago. I'm getting green though, so it's all good so far. Anyways, so excellent. So what I wanted to replicate was the underwater, the whole lake, because this is basically just a giant freshwater lake. It's the largest freshwater source in Raktika outside of Mural's Tears, but you can actually like go into Mural's Tears, so I couldn't tell what type of body of water it looked like. So when I was designing it, I went through and I took like a ton of pictures. Hey everyone. So, and I wanted to kind of replicate this feeling a bit in the exhibit. You can see these are Pipras, which if you weren't aware, Pipra in Final Fantasy XIV are connected and basically parallel to Piranha in real life. So these guys are red belly piranha specifically, hence the red belly. I think these are like tetras or something, which I think are in this type of ecosystem. Anyways, when I was designing the exhibit, I was just kind of looking around at like color, contrasting colors, and overall like keynotes. And so I noticed like a handful of things. One, the pink popping up out of the ground. So I wanted to make sure that there's a bit of a splash of pink. Two, the roots. I really like the roots here at the surface of the water. And then these long spindly bits, which actually end up being the stems of lily pads, which if you weren't aware, lily pads are actually like the flowering part of a underwater plant, so they actually have stems. They aren't just free floating, at least a lot of them. So these types of guys. And then looking around, what are some of the other stuff that stood out? Like, I think whenever you go to Raktika, you think of the Vis or the Viera, and then the giant rock with trees and crystals and stuff. So I decided to base it a lot around that. So if I go brick, and waddle back in here. That's what I tried to replicate, was the color, the keynotes of it, which would have been the long stemmy bits and then the roots. And then I tried to also get a little bit of those little crystals involved. So I haven't finished dyeing it all yet, but this is where we're at. So what I want to work on next now is I need to start figuring out colors and getting some of those in. And matching the colors, because like the natural wood beams are great for roots. You can see I kind of built out a little root structure here just by floating the beams around, and then use some ivy. I forget what this is actually officially called. It's not the ivy curtain, it's the hanging wall ivy, I believe. Wall climbing ivy, yeah. Use those to simulate the falling roots, and then I threw some of these wooden round tables, which are the only like easily round thing that's flat that can be easily floated because it's a tabletop item for whatever reason. Threw that up there as well to signify the lily pads. Now, if I need some space, like if I'm running out of slots, I'll drop these out. I'll probably get rid of the actual lily pads, but keep the dance poles as the long spindly bits. And before anyone asks, I did try the marble rug. I actually tried this one here, and I tried floating it, but because it's tall, you can't really get it close to the ceiling without it jumping up onto the next floor, and so that wasn't really going to work out. I ended up pulling that idea. So I need to work on this area over here to the left, because I really like the big steps. And you can't fully walk up them, but you can walk, like you can walk all the way around here. I want people to be able to walk straight across. And I really like this look here. So I have two options. I can either do another round of wooden lofts to create like a long stairwell, or I get a couple more wooden steps and clip those in like around here-ish, and then that way it's like a weird like platform into a step type thing. And I haven't really figured that out on what exactly I want to do. But also, hi Innes. So I think I have some wooden steps. Let me... My storage here is absolutely terrible. I do need some handrails, so I might as well pull those out. And I keep everything, when it comes to rotations, I keep everything on the grid. But when it comes to like actual placement of stuff, I will do it without the grid. So I want to make sure that I get the angles right, because then I can just eyeball in the rest like that. And like that gives me a nice little line through. And I know I have more steps. Yes, I do. There we go. Just throw those on the wall really quick. I don't need those yet. So I'm going to get the steps fixed, and then the next thing I'll do after that is put this tank together, because I don't want the tanks to be freestanding. I actually want this set here to look like a custom built large tank thing. So we'll do a really simple float. And I hope I don't break the... I hope I don't break the... whatever... I hope I don't break these lofts here. I also need to go replace the music a little bit, because I only have Troy and Beauty and From Mud playing, and that's going to get really tiring really quickly. Raise this up just a smidge. So it's, I try and do it so it's roughly at the level. Yeah, like that. No. Turn back snapping on. I just find having snapping on for angles makes things a lot cleaner. Do I want that there? Now let's move it over here, I guess. What? Yeah, no. So I want to move this over here because what I want to do is not make it a straight line. I want to have a little bit of a curve here because if they're going to be walking, hold on, let me get rid of this. If they're going to be walking this way, cool. So now they can walk up. If they're going to be walking this way, if a visitor comes in, they decide to take the left path, they'll walk over, they'll see it, then they have to move this way. One, this puts an angle here, so they're likely to stop and look. Two, it directs them towards here, and then rotates them around. They'll rotate around over here. If they're coming from this direction, they'll see this will be the Greater Serpent of Ronco, which I think I have. Or I might have to go recatch it. I do have one. Where is it? Okay. That'll put them here, pointing them at the scree, which this will be Ronca, and then they'll look at this tank, because they'll have to walk this way to come down. So I'm going to put a second set of stairs up. That's not where I wanted that to go. Right there. Remember my order of operations. I should put the new Aether font music up because I just got that as well from doing the dungeon. And now I'm gonna just try and line this up as much as I can. I'm not perfect, that's fine. I'm not really too picky. But the angle's there, so now I just have to line this up, and I hate doing it from this direction. Should have done the other way, oh well. That should be okay. Yeah. And then what I'll do is turn snapping back on, and I'll pull out a couple more of these handrails, because for my private house, I had Shirigane plot 5 medium before I got this large, and I had a wild setup for that, but it for some odd reason required like a bajillion wooden handles or handrails. And so I still have a bunch, and I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus I think I have a couple more upstairs, plus I got rid of some. I think I had like 20 or 30 of them at one point. Because they're just so versatile. You can float them and make like really nice little walls, like if you just put them on top of each other. Like wooden cages, which is great for like botany stuff. I want to move this over just a smidgen. Yeah. Okay. So now we have this all set up. So now if they come this way, they'll be able to walk through, and if they come this way, they'll be able to walk through. But it won't be a completely straight line, even though I guess it kind of is. But the angle that they'll be walking through the sight line will be drawing them to here and here, and they can't get there. Like, you can't go straight over here. You have to actually go up and do this to see it, or if you want to go to the back tank, they actually have to go around and turn, and that directs them towards all the other things that are in the exhibit. So they'll be able to be directed that way. Okay. That's gonna become a metal tank at some point because in my, I guess, maybe professional opinion about Final Fantasy XIV aquariums, which is a weird flex, the metal tanks are, in my opinion, the better ones. They're easier to hide. The dyeability of the back makes it far more adaptable to any of the builds that you're doing, and the lighting isn't green. Like with this, even though this is a freshwater tank, if I switch it to saltwater, if you didn't know this, this is an easy way to tell between fresh and saltwater tanks in Final Fantasy XIV. That's fine. The watercolor is different. So if it's a bluer shade, it's saltwater. If it's a greener shade, it is freshwater. So that's like the first and really easy way to tell which type of tank it is, and most importantly, what type of fish you're going to be looking at. And you'll see the fish came back because I didn't confirm any of the changes and I didn't put it into my inventory. So this one will probably go into storage, because if you put a tank into storage, it will keep all the fish. Same thing with frames. So like that's a coral manta frame. I don't want to destroy that. I'm going to put that into storage and it will keep it there. I think I have like my ruby dragon, all my legendary frames are all just sitting in storage. So all three of these, I think this is just duskfish, so I might, excuse me. Yeah, that one I'll get rid of because duskfish I might actually have a backup of. No, but I can get one. So, apparently old fish tanks used to be made of wood, so like this actually isn't all that strange. Plus boats used to be made of wood and they kept water out somewhat decently, so I never questioned the fact that it was wood. It was just the fact that it was super ornate. The metal tanks though are a lot nicer because they're dyeable. Okay, so what I want to do with this corner right here, I feel like there was something else I had to go do, but I got distracted. What I want to do here is I need end caps. And there's a couple of options I have for these end caps. One is just using a simple marble partition. And so I need to turn that one more click. If I do a simple marble partition, I can kind of just stick it in here. I don't mind having the rocks stick out a little bit. It really just, to me, adds a little bit more character. And then I can add in wooden beams. So I could do this, and then I can dye it all, and it'll look nice and square, but this really reduces the visibility of the tank, and you can barely tell that there's like another fish up there. Some of these fish will get hidden, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but also it can draw in people to really get up close and look. It's a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to exhibit design, because if you make it too tall, or sorry, if you make this top area cut off too much, then no one will actually see that there's fish there, and no one will walk forward and be like, oh, there's actually fish up there, because they won't know it's there. But if you do it just right, it'll be like this, where there'll be a top feeding fish up there, and they'll be like, oh, and they'll be more drawn in to actually look. I need to also get a Lalafell here to see how this will look. Maybe do I have a Lalafell on? Do I have a Lalafell on Crystal, or do I have to bring over Sunfish? I don't know. So I might do this, but this can get, there's not a lot of intricacy to this. So what I wanted to do is look for, basically you want to look at the back of bookshelves. Because I want, I want to make sure I get a bunch of these. By the way, I'll have to talk to Tarina and see if I can get some of those logs brought in. I wish we had flagstone benches. I won't go on my usual tirade of I wish there was more rocks that I can put indoors, but yeah, so the back of these things, like just the back of anything really, can be used as a like a corner if you're going to be blocking out an aquarium. If you do it right, because then you don't get it clipped in like that. I'm not a huge fan of that one. The bread rack is too intricate for me. Mounted bookshelf is way too big. I had one of these the other day that I was like, this is perfect, and now I don't remember it. Mental note to add one of these over like here. I really love the new short pillar bookshelf because it looks like those brochure racks you actually see in museum curation things. I've been meaning to get one in the aquariums, and I just keep forgetting. But I don't want anything too big. I don't want anything too ornate. I really just want something made of like rustic wood. I have a bunch of these already, actually, with this. I don't like that flame look, but that could be kind of Ronkin, which I don't have any sort of representation for at all, is Ronka. Or the Ronkins, and I don't like... Yeah, so if I do that, I'll have to bring it out to about here, but it does kind of look Ronkin. I don't like the flame thing, so what I might do is just get like a wooden pillar or something and throw that on there to cover that. But we could end cap with those. I do have a couple of those from a build. Also, what is causing that shadow? Okay. What else do we have? Hello? Can I like stuff this in the back of something and... I feel like I could use this if we had a giant globe. Like an ornerary, I believe it's called. Stick stuff back there. Actually legit. Hold up. Hold up. How do you make that? Okay, it's easy. That could almost be the... That could almost be the roofs in Finau. Maybe. I forget if this is around or not. I didn't focus on it, so... I don't know. I'll keep that in mind. I wish I could pin things as well. Can it be dyed? It cannot. I do have to talk about lighting later, but that's not a big issue. I have a bunch of these already. Even though these aren't underwater, I might get a few. And then some of the plants, they were very spiky, so probably the dragons and maybe some of the magways I could probably throw... Actually, I could probably just throw a bunch of them like right here and then just leave them clipped into the troop stage. Apologies if you can hear the lawnmower outside. Landscaping around here seems to know my schedule and always shows up at the most inconvenience of times. The bamboo is actually kind of nice because it does have that like long spindly bits, so it could almost be a like a lily pad offshoot. I have a couple over here, and these were just mostly to block out the area so I knew where to put the bench. But back to end caps here. I'm basing this idea off of something that I saw on the Japanese servers. I think it's the it's a freshwater aquarium on Renil. Renil. Which I highly recommend looking at because let me face it. Radill, sorry, Ridill. There's a massive freshwater aquarium on Radill, and they have this amazing setup in their basement. And again, I apologize for that noise. If you have a chance, go out and see it. I'm looking to see if I can find the address, but I don't have it off the top of my head. They have this amazing setup in their basement that's very similar to this that I am absolutely in awe of. And the fun fact about Aquarium Radill is it is the third most popular house that I have found in-game. If we judge popularity based on just how well it's known and how many people are there and how many likes, say, the message book has, that's because like that's really our only like metric for measuring that, like hard metric. It's Eorzean Aquarium is number one on the Eorzean Aquarium on Crystal is number one. Aquarium Gratis on Fenrir is number 2, and then the Radill Freshwater Aquarium is number 3. They have like 17 or 18,000 likes or something like that. And then Aquarium Gratis just cracked 26, 25 or something like that. So like highly recommend. I think we have some of them on the aquarium website. Highly recommend checking out the Japanese servers because they have some amazing aquarium builds. Let's see if I bring this back a little bit, then I can actually like clip it into the tank. Now I can still hear it. It's driving me nuts. I swear the landscaping team here they're like, oh, Fruity's doing something online and he's talking to people, whether I'm in a Zoom call for work or streaming or trying to do some sort of like recording. They're always there ruining my day. But they do good work, so I don't really complain that much. So I guess something like this could work, and then I can just expand out the beams. I hate the fact that the tier 4s aren't like the same size of the beams, so I have to deal with either clipping or extend it out. I haven't decided which one I want to go with yet. But let's see. Where are all these? Big question, are these visible? I think these are visible because they're blocking holes, yeah. They're blocking holes in the cave room. Which this room alone, oh, there's one of the bags from the EMN scavenger hunt that we don't need anymore. This room alone, I think, took up more of the housing slots than anything else right now. Before this update. I think that's what stars. That's it. Let's add some variety here if I'm going to be listening. Do I have Scream? Nope. Don't have Scream yet. Do I have Blind to the Dark? I do. Do I have... Landlords is a banger track. Do I actually have Civilizations? I don't. Ooh, I should fix that. What else we got here? Do Long Fall. Silent Regard, Songs of Salt and Suffering, and then Silent Regard of the Stars, maybe? No. Canticle, we use a lot. Dragon Song will make everyone cry. Do I have Heaven's Ward? Sure, that one works. And then we'll just start with Landlords. Okay. When it comes to these types of exhibits, I will typically put music on that matches whatever the theme is, but because it's all over the place, I kind of just do stuff whatever seems nice at the time, but since I'm working, I'm gonna just put on music that I want to listen to. See, I've never had to frame out a tank like this because usually whenever you see these types of tanks, it's up against a wall. So it would be like if I started it here, like this thing would just be clipping into the wall and then it would just run the full length of the wall and I wouldn't have to deal with end caps. So this is the first time I'm having to deal with end caps, and I'm going to pull out those armoires. Because I actually do think that these might have been a good option. Because they are kind of Ronka-ish, if you think about it a little bit. They are kind of Ronky. Ronkany? Ronky. What is the name for Ronkin stuff? But they're also a smidgen taller, which would mean that I'll be able to put that a little higher up. Cool. I actually like this already. So I don't want that. That's too close. What I do want to do is get rid of... put you away for a second. Ah! Grabbing things is tough. Just move you over here for a second. Because I don't want the flame thing to show up. Ooh, I can just do it like that. There we go. Ronky. I like it. We'll do Ronky. Okay, now let me do the other one over here. You get back my bag. Yeah, that can work. What about lofting? What happens if I just threw a loft on top? I need a stage panel. Oh, am I near any of my branches? I am not. I have to be very careful because I have placed those branches and I do not want to have to replace them. So I need to be very careful with my wall-mounted things. Any thoughts on the new 6.4 fish? What were the 6.4 fish? I don't actually remember off the top of my head. Fish guide. Oh. Right. So we had all of the ocean fish or the terrestrial fish? Any specifics that you got in mind that you want to hear my thoughts on? Oh, guilt dermo. Unexciting, to be honest. A lot of the fish, a lot of the terrestrial fish were very, I think like Basilosaurus rex was maybe the only really exciting one for me. And that was mainly because it had a new behavior of being able to be straight caught off of a, does that clip through? Yeah, that'll be fine. Because it can be straight caught. Like, you can be straight caught off of a versatile lure, which isn't something that is necessarily new per se. I think when I was talking about it, I made it sound a whole lot shinier and newer than it actually was. Seems to be rotated just a smidge. But it was interesting at the rate at which you could catch Basil with a Basil Rex with a versatile lure. I think we still ended up finding out it's like 1 in 100 or something like that. Maybe 1 in 250. I forget exactly what the final number was. I'll have to look. But I'll have to I'll have to double check what the final number was. But it was interesting because we haven't really, one, we haven't really looked at it that way, and two, we haven't really seen fish do that quickly. So it was kind of interesting to have that as an option. Is fan, that one has, like, that one's okay. Wakeful Torna is pretty much a straight catch fish, pretty bog standard for that one. Yeah, so Basilosaurus Rex is interesting because it's a mooch loop. That's the first part that's actually making it interesting. The second bit that's making it interesting is the fact that the whole thing with the versatile lure is interesting, and then the fact that you could either catch it straight off of a puff paya or straight off of a Basilosaurus was neat, because there's basically, we just had a ton of variety. And that was just generally a nice change of pace to be able to see. Hello? Thank you. Oh, don't do this to me. You're just gonna be weird, aren't you? Yeah. Pooh. See, I don't like this because it clips. I don't like how that clips in, but if I'm blocking it, maybe it's not as noticeable, but if they're there and looking, it is. These are the things that I get really ornery with my aquariums. Zach, do you think there's potential to get big spearfishing fish? We got the one spearfishing int fish this expansion. I think we actually have two. So in 6.0, if you didn't know, they redid spearfishing completely. Before, it used to be very similar to how Botanist was done, where you would show up to a node, hit a button, collect something, and then you'd have a way to interact with that. They changed it to the new way they have it now, which is kind of more of like an arcadey mini game. And with that, they brought about spearfishing intuition, which is if you spear a certain number of fish during that node, you get the intuition. And that really added some excitement to spearfishing. But they've only added two. And intuition's kind of like one of those mechanics they don't use a ton. I think they should use it more, in my opinion. But actually, I wonder if I could rotate this. I'm trying to like juggle two things at once here. We got 2 spearfishing in fish so far. There we go. One is Tebiek Smelt, which is in Thavner. I think I just solved my problem a little bit. And the other one is Nosasaur, which is over in Bronze Lake in the Lenosha that I always forget the name of. Did you just automatically clip? You did. Perfect. Amazing. I love it. Keep doing what you're doing there. I need to leave and come back and make sure that actually stays. Did that one stay? Yes. So is there a chance that we can get big fish? Absolutely. I think that there's a opportunity to, but the way that it's currently set up, it's going to be very samey, unless they start adding more to it. There's a lot that they could do, and it would look a lot like a Realm Reborn fish, where it was very early type big fishing, where it was all you literally had was just cast and hook, and that was it. That was basically it, and mooch. Yeah, it's wherever Bronze Lake is, which I think, yeah, so Upper Lenosha. It's right in here. I can never remember Upper and Outer because to me they're both out, so I always get confused. So I think we could see big fish. I don't know if we're going to see them in 7.0 or in 6.0. I think if we do, it'll be 7. It'll be in 7.0. We will maybe start seeing big spearfish. But if they do, they're going to add maybe... it's like 60 or something big fish, which is a lot. Like, that is a ton of fish. Yes, I did actually see that they added the big fish adventure plates. I already have them. I woke up patch morning of 6.4 and someone was just like, hey, congratulations on the new adventure plates, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Because it was 6 a.m. I was very tired and I had just woken up. Wasn't even planning on logging in that early, but then someone was like, hey, there's new adventure plate stuff for Fisher, and I was like, that's neat, and then immediately went to go grab it. Need to turn this just a smidgen. As soon as I put this down, it's gonna lock in, so I need to make sure that I'm at the right angle, so I need to come in just a smidgen more. And there. But I need to go up a little bit. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. Smoosh. Smoosh. I'll dye this in a bit too. Yeah, that works. Cool. All right, one more. But yeah, no, I mean, I think I have a mashup of both of them. Yeah, so I have a mashup of both of them for my adventure plate. Because this one is big fish, this one is world-class trawler, I believe. All right, that should be enough space for one. Yeah, that should be enough space. perfectly spaced. Now I just have to make sure it clips in well. Yeah, so this one I'm pretty certain I can just do a straight run into. No, I need to angle you a bit more. Fish. Perfect. Nail that in. We're good. So now I have this nice curved, smooth thing. I really freehanded this, and it's going to be janky as hell if they look down on it. I don't know if I have enough. I don't know if I really have enough to be able to clear that up. Hold on. Say that. How much space do I have? 300? No. I have 18 more slots left, which is not going to be enough. I know that already. So let me go to wooden loft here. Nope. So I don't think I'll have enough space. I don't think it's even going to let me place that. Oh, it did. That's neat. But I'm not going to do anything with that because I would need probably like 5 for that, and I want to add the indoor waterfalls before I forget. But what I do want to do is move this guy back so that it looks like the beams are properly supported and are broken up just a smidge. And the thing that I like about the fish tanks is you can't really tell that there's water falling from the outside. You actually have to be inside to see it. So, if anything, we'll just argue that that is life support filters. I think that looks okay. I might fix that one up a little bit, but that looks to be fine. I'll dye that probably like gray, which I don't have at the moment. Let me... Yeah, that works. I think that works out well. And this is the only one that I wanted to frame out and really hide it, because when I get the dyes in, I'll probably make it like a yellow color. Something to sort of match the something to sort of match the color of the water that we saw. That's Free Company. Oh no, you can see the Eorzean Aquarium Free Company. Version colors. So the blue is nice because it really sticks out. But, and actually I'm going to get rid of all these fish anyways, so I can just switch these over to freshwater for now. Goodbye, Tebiek Smelt. I'll catch you again later because you're just fun to catch in the first place. I'll keep doing brooklet because that is a really easy, just freshwater look. I'll have to replace this with brooklet. So I'll get a little bit of a greenish color automatically. So I really just need something that, honestly, that gray doesn't look too bad. It's light gray. The other option that I should consider is a yellow, like this old brown or bone white, or vanilla's not too much. Maybe halotali. Maybe like a green. I'm trying to avoid using green because everything's green and you really want stuff to be able to pop out and you want that contrast. So there's that. I could go, that's too bright. Like realistically, I don't think we even have that color to match. I should get an ivy curtain to hang over here. That actually kind of works. The moss green, it is kind of yellowish. Hold on, how does that look up back here? With that being gray, that would actually pop pretty well. Okay. So moss green, I need to remember that. It's about contrast, Mia. So let's see. How many white scripts do I have? Not enough. Because I'm looking at, there's a boat coming up at noon and I need white script. What are the boats? We have Manta on the Indigo and Taniwa. That might be interesting, actually. So maybe I will do that noon boat. I'll go do a public boat. Let me go pick up some dyes. So I need slate and moss green. Do I, first off, we check to make sure I actually have those. Nope. No, the only moss thing I have is a moss gill salmon. So off we go to... where's actually a really cheap place to go? I'm in the Mississippi. Welcome to Marlborough Limsa, where we are protected by the bastion of Marlborough is the wall of Dancing Lalafell. Drink some water here too. One of these days, yeah, the Lalafells are back, so Marlborough is protected again. Oh, you do have slate gray, and you are kind of expensive. One of these days, I am going to purchase every dye, so I never have to go back to a dye monger. I'm just going to buy like a stack of every dye that I can. And just keep it in my retainer. There's my second Runar, because I accidentally bought the book again. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. I want to try charcoal really quick while I'm here. I made the mistake of when I moved, I didn't put my half timbers on when I moved, so I got the large forges for free instead. There's all the Basilosauruses that I caught off of mooches. What other dye colors am I gonna need here? What did I say? Yellow. Do I even have Holotolly? No. I also need to check the floor again. One thing at a time. Pastel purple. I actually do need that. I want some of the pink. Get out. Give me some of this as well. Does anyone know if the green plants or the Siladalis blossom plant, like the really tall pink one, is that tradable? Can you purchase that from people? And I will be doing some fishing at noon. I am going to go on the ocean fishing boat. I'll probably do Taniwa because I like the ruby roots a bit more and they're a little bit easier to get points on, like guaranteed points. Oh, I don't want you green. I want you... I have charcoal. Charcoal's a bit dark. Which I'm okay kind of with. Does it match the rock though? No, I think the slate will be better. So a fun and really dumb thing that I did for my room at the aquarium on Spriggan. I'm not being asked to bring a tall plant, but I will purchase one if someone is selling it. if they're not like ridiculously expensive, I should probably just go look. Yeah, so if it is on Universales, then it's not that expensive. We will buy on Marlboro because we support our local crafters and vendors. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's really cheap. Never mind. I'll just buy one. Oh, I just want to have one because they look fun. We do have a room coming up, but it isn't for around the Sylladalis. What? This is not the song that I thought it was that I put in the playlist. No. With donations, so with donations to the aquarium, we will always take donations, especially if you want to give fish away. We will take fish and we will just be like, we'll take these and then you can get rid of the rest. But we've gotten so many, we've had like issues with storage. So I don't really advertise taking donations all that much anymore outside of Gil. Because we genuinely ran out of space for it all. And yes, there will be a new ocean fishing room coming before 6.5. We needed another room for Sothis. So there'll be ocean fishing room 4, and I hope that's the last one of the 6.0 series. Because now we have plenty of space for ocean fish. Moss green, hunter green. That's way too green. Where's my moss? There it is. So this is going to be mostly piranhas. I'm mostly going to put pipras in there, maybe a clown tetra or two. Yes, how can we forget that Sothis exists? Sothis is hands down probably one of the most interesting fish in screw that fish tank that we can place into tanks right now, because it's the only turtle. Like, we have so many fish, but we don't have we don't really have anything besides like fish. Like, when you think of it, it's like fish. It is 2 eyes, couple of fins, dorsal fins, all that stuff. Then we have coral manta, which is the first manta ray that we can put into a fish tank. It's not Aether electric guitarfish. It's technically a fish. It's not a ray. Then we got Hananatsu, which was the first and still currently only seahorse, which is a crime, because I think that the weedy sea dragons would actually look amazing in this. And if they're worried about them being long, either make them tier 4s like Sildra, or make them the really, really small ones that are size 1s. Then we have one inorganic fish, which is one of my dumb favorite facts, is a Quamaton, which is like the only robotic fish we have. It's the only robotic fish in the game. Let's see, what's in this tank? Can I just clear this all out? Ooh, so when I was at the aquarium the other day, I actually saw a Fates design in real life, and I can't remember what it is. It's a type of triggerfish. Triggerfish species. Now I have to remember which one it was. Clown triggerfish, that's it. So they had a clown triggerfish in the tank, and this thing is like actually really small. If you think of your hand, if you look at your hand, that is about how big the clown triggerfish was I saw at the aquarium. And I missed a picture of it, and I was really like, oh, that would have been great. The guitar fish isn't hard to catch, so I can just get another one. These are all easy. This one I will actually store because Sunken Tome can be a bit of a pain. So when I was at the aquarium, I went to, I don't mind saying exactly where because it's not actually near where I live. I went to the Adventure Aquarium in Camden, New Jersey, right across the Delaware River from Philadelphia. And I've been wanting to go there for a while because it's kind of like my region's big aquarium. It's like Northeast has the Adventure Aquarium in Camden, Southeast has Georgia, and then the West has Monterey Bay. And the Central Plains doesn't really have much. Though the Colorado Natural History Museum is really good. If you're ever in Denver, the Denver Natural History Museum, not the Colorado one, the Denver Natural History Museum is amazing. I got a backstage tour of that once, and that was fun. So anyways, I've wanted to go to this aquarium for a while, and I was just looking around going like, oh, that's a cichlid. Oh, that's a triggerfish. Oh, that's a parrotfish. And I'm like, how do I know all these things? I'm like, I caught you in game. Other takeaways from the aquarium. Cowhead manta rays, or cowhead rays, which you commonly see in tanks, or in touch tanks, are very weird feeling. They're very slick compared to, well, I didn't get to touch the southern ray, but they're very friendly as well. What was I after that I needed? I didn't need anything. I needed to store stuff. Store those for now. Get rid of these. I mean, they have plenty of space in the Central Plains. Where's it going to be? Like St. Louis or someplace? If the plains are going to get one, where along the Mississippi is it going to be? Because in my mind, that's like the only feasible way for them. Like that's the only feasible place for them to put an aquarium would be along the Mississippi. Because most of the western plains are dealing with a drought, so all of their water sources are scarce, if not really good for supporting an aquarium. Is it dyeable? It is dyeable. Holy crap. Hold on. I might actually want a bunch of these if this dyes the way that I hope it does. I don't think it will. Yeah, Oklahoma makes sense. Gotta watch my time too so I can... No! Damn, it just dyes the pot. I was hoping it dyed the flower. Because if it dyed the flower, then I would be like, yo, let's get a few more hundred of these things. But now I'll just have to stick with only a handful. That's cool. Having the people, like, I haven't been to the Georgia Aquarium. I was hoping to go to Dragon Con for our thing there. But I'm going to be traveling another location that weekend, I think. So I don't think I'll be able to make it down to Dragon Con for the aquarium night. Which... Now I need to look that up. I might actually be able to talk about that. Hold on. Boo-ba-doo-boo. Dragon Con. It's at the end of August. they're doing a thing at the aquarium. There's the website. If you are in the Atlanta area or going to Dragon Con, I highly recommend you go to it, because I believe we're attempting to do a scavenger hunt there of aquarium fish, to like aquarium fish in real life and in game. And I've been kind of putting together a list of that for Melodic. I don't actually know if the Eorzean Aquarium will be mentioned. Doesn't matter if it is, but I know some of the people from the Eorzean Museum Network are helping out a little bit with those things. Okay, I need a bunch of golden pipras. For the first time in my life, I don't believe I'm saying this, I need to go catch some golden pipras before we go to ocean fish. Like I want golden pipras is something that no fisher has ever actually stated. Sorry, yellow pipras, not golden pipras. Golden's the biggin. Let me fish in there. I want to fish in every body of water. I'm looking at Twitter and I'm reading the replies from the Final Fantasy XIV Twitter account this morning. Just tweeted Fisherman's Rise Up, and it's been just hilarious to watch all the responses. If you didn't see it. No, wait, stop. That was the wrong click. Doo-doo-doo. So I'm going for yellow pipras. Mural's tier here only has 3 fish. It's either golden pipra, yellow pipra, or clawbow. So if you slap clawbow, you're guaranteed to get yellow pipra, yeah, those are aquariums. And they're mediums. Are clown tetras smalls? No, they're tier 2s. I don't know what to expect for the 6.5/6.55 title, or whatever it could be. They've done a title for all of them so far, and I feel like that's something that we could expect. I also wouldn't be surprised if instead of a title they just give us an adventure plate, because I mean, Big Fish, it's hard to beat. There's like only a couple of titles people have thought of that I feel like will genuinely beat out Big Fish. One of those being Fishing Way. I think the other one was End Fisher, which I think would have been would be fun. And then the final one is literally just Fish. Like, that was like, just, what's the title? Fish. That's it. So I don't know if they'll actually give us a new title, because they didn't do a mount for all classes at 90. They just did that one headgear thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they changed it up a little bit and maybe give us a mount, or we'll definitely probably get a rod. Like, I think that, like, that, I would be surprised if we don't get a rod, and that will actually come out in 6.5. So get caught up on your fishing now. Actually, do I think we'll get a title for catching all of the Endwalker fish? Yes, that I definitely think we'll get. But will we get a title for everything caught up? I don't know. That I don't actually know for sure. That is where we could get either like a new adventure plate, or a mount, or a 7 hue. Yeah. So mounts have been talked about for a while, like, that are fishing specific. The one that I know everybody says that they want is a Ruby Dragon mount, because it's kind of low-hanging fruit, because you could just reskin Charybdis or Altroit. And that would give you a Ruby Dragon. Oh no, so the way that the titles work for fish, how many of these do I have before I have 3 tanks. I can do 3 at most. Yeah, so that's the most that I'll probably need. Get rid of you, move you down here. You, hold on one sec. Let me clean up my inventory before I forget. Doot. We go ocean fishing. We need this. We need this. Taniwa is mackerel strip, I think. And then I need krill. Where'd my krill go? That, and then I need to throw my robber balls in. Okay, so the way that the titles work for fishing now is you will get a title for all the big fish and a rod for catching most of the just any fish in the game. So the way that it's worked in the past, if I bring up my achievements here, just see what I've been doing. If I do it with now I have to remember where it falls under gear. So if you look, it'll be I caught that 8 is what we're expecting to get. And this came out in 5.5, and there was at the time like 1148 fishes or something like that. Like you could have missed all the legendaries at the time, but you had to catch everything else. Like almost 100% of everything else, including ocean fishing. And that gave you the Resplendent Tackle Fiend Rod, which is the really glowy one that you usually see a lot of people wear. So we'll probably get another one of those, and it'll probably be like 1,300 or something like that. Like what's it gonna be? How many fish do we have? 1,400 now? 1,492, I think. So it'll probably be like 1,475 or something. 1,480. And that's just any fish, including spearfish. For the titles, I still need to do squids. Where are you? You'll be looking at hello. Where are my titles? Oh, No River Wide Enough. All right, so No River Wide Enough is the achievement for getting Grandmaster Caster and Lord of Far Waters or Lady of Far Waters. Go Big Far From Home 5 is the catch all the big fish. That's where the titles will come in. This will almost certainly happen for Endwalker because we already have it. It's... Now I have to remember what it's called. Because they didn't... I think it's like Go Big or Go to the End. Where is it? I did finish it, right? Whoops, I went in a little too early there. Oh, I can't look. Anyways, so there's a title for Big Fish, and then you'll just get it there. For specifically Endwalker. Will we get a title for having all the big fish caught in the game? We don't know. A title would make sense, but in my opinion, having a title for Endwalker and for catching all the fish, like, like that makes sense, but also you can't show necessarily both at once if you want to flex. So having a yeah, Go Big till the end. So having a like mount lets you wear the title and the mount at the same time. I don't know. We won't know for sure until 6.5, which probably won't be until if 4.5 isn't next week, which they would have announced it if it was next week. It probably won't be until the first week of August or the second week of August. It'll be after FanFest. That will put 6.5 in October-ish, I think. And then that'll put the new legendaries in December, January. So we'll know about the titles early next year. All that rambling to say, I don't know. Am I in the right language? I am. Okay. This is just taking longer than I expected for the one river to go off. I really wish I was streaming this morning. I was on my OCE alt, which I'll maybe get to here this afternoon. And I first casted 3 big fish, like almost in a row. It was a very hot morning for fishing. I know it's Monday and everyone's at work. But it's noon, it's lunchtime. Come on, guys. Show some dedication to fishing. I guess while I wait, I could go work on catching the other fish. Because that'll guarantee that it'll pop as soon as I float away here. We need some clown tetras. I need to catch some Ampa's handmade. Ampa's handmaids. What else can be put into an aquarium? So the clown tetras. Dark dwellers? Yes. Ooh, are those even up? Pull out the rubber balls again. Yeah, dark dwellers are the one, so I can pick those up. They do have a time and weather restriction though. When are Dark Dwellers up next? And then under Spearfish, I think it's just Ampa's Handmade that can go in. So we don't have a ton of fish that can go in here. I'm hoping we get some more though. A lot of these will end up going on canvases anyways. I think that would be actually kind of funny if they put screen to an aquarium. It might make it the most valuable tradable big fish. If that is the case, that'll be hard to guess. Dark Dweller's not up for another 15 hours. Whoops. Someone's asked me about the FanFest meetup. So for FanFest, I am going to be hosting a meetup at the Mandalay Bay Aquarium, which is right on the strip. And I don't need to catch more poets. It is Thursday, July 27th at 6 p.m. local time. And we'll be meeting up there. We needed to get at least 20 people to get the group rate of $16. Instead, it would have been like 36 to 39. But we got the group rate, and so far, like 67 people or something like that has already RSVP'd. Will everyone all show up? I don't know. But if you're interested in that, I have a video about it on my channel here. You can RSVP. Even if you're not going to FanFest and you're just going to be in Vegas, you're welcome to come. That's not an issue. This is going to be another Marine Tonga. But we had like 65 people. I went into like a minor panic attack, and I was like emailing people. Oh, neat. I was like emailing the folks at Mandalay Bay, like, is this okay? How early do I need to? I need to triple hook any 3 bites I get. See, now that I've triggered the spec, we're going for points now. Like, I'm now in it for points. Impostopus. They were really on par with their point names here, though, or with their fish names. Not gonna lie. Some of these are like really good. I don't think that was it. No. That'll be, though. So, with intuition, if you didn't hear that chime noise, that means that the fish is on the line. If you don't see the text show up, that means that the fish is also on the line. And it got away. But we caught, but we had a bite. We had the bite. me 1 for 2 on that. And the spec should be dying off here in a second. Oh, I bet you that's an Impostibus. He got away. So at this point, I'm basically just going to... I'm not going to go for Tawny Walk because we're almost out of time here. So get this out. Nope. Because I knew that we were running out of time, I didn't want to double hook to try and go for like a third intuition. I knew I wasn't going to make it. So I just swapped and just stayed on what I was doing and then stuck around hoping to see if I could fill up on my voyage missions. So I'll double hook here because it's a strong bite and I need those. The intuition, the chime should not be relied upon. A lot of the time even when I would talk about it, we would say if you hear a chime noise, that means the fish is on the line. But especially when you're ocean fishing, the audio engine really doesn't have a good time maintaining all of the audio. I think they have like a limit on the number of audio sources that can be playing at one time, and the chime doesn't have priority over all of them. But what does and is more reliable is the text that'll show up on your screen, kind of like right in the middle, where you get, oh, you sense such and such a thing is happening. If that doesn't show up, if you see something like that and as the intuition pops away and it doesn't say, hey, you no longer sense anything out of the ordinary, it also means that the fish is on the line, even if you don't hear the chime. Because the chime, it will play like 90% of the time, but in those 10% that it's not, always look for the text. Now I'm gonna double hook here if it's not that. Keep meaning to bring up the ocean fishing sheet. Cool. So I can track what I'm doing in this next window. So only 1,800 points. That's not really where I want to be. We were talking the other day in the fish cord. There was a conversation about kind of like equivalent points on like indigo versus the ruby root, and the max points so far seems to be lower on the ruby roots than it is on the indigo. Indigo, I know like Tioto is cranking out high 40s, low 50,000 point runs. But on the ruby, it seems like if you're able to pull 30k, like that is an amazing run. Even though it's like somewhat easy to get like a 30k on the indigo routes. But I'm more familiar with the ruby routes than the indigo routes, just because I've been paying attention to them more, strategy-wise. some of the other notes about this is okay, there's a conversation going on in the chat that I'm not even going to jump into. But some of the things that I've noticed is people have a lot of folks, like, we haven't fully narrowed down exactly what the best baits for what is. And so we're getting a lot of like, oh, this is what it is, this is what it is. And then people get super duper like focused on like, no, it is rag because the internet says so, when it's like, I know Lulu's still isn't fully up to date yet because we haven't even figured out exactly which one's better in the end. So it's going to be either like for the Kugane Coast, ragworm or krill both work, but Lulu can only put down ones and they only put down rag. So I think they were advised with Tyoto, so I'm not like, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's also like, technically both work. So if you ever are on a boat and someone's like, or it could be this, it could be both, for example, then like that's fine. I typically don't argue with that all that much anymore, because it just gets very tiring. But it's kind of like fishing information changes a lot. It changes a ton, and we never really know exactly what's going on until much later. But we can't not put out guides because then just bad information goes out. So you get something out and then we have to keep updating it over time, and it can get kind of messy. Yeah, basically you just pick a team. And I know Galadian Bay, before it was changed, it was actually krill for like 90% of the routes or something like that. There was like one where plumphorn was fine. Oh, I should double click that. Yeah, so that's the one that I'm talking about is I think that was Galadian Bay, and it was plump. It works. Krill is just marginally better, and we typically want to be putting out what's best. But sometimes there's like, what's best isn't very clear. It can be very nuanced, and it's like, well, ragworm and krill both work on the Kugane Coast, but it's going to really depend on what you're going for. So if you're going for, say, something that bites more on ragworm, then use ragworm. But if you're not, then go for krill. Yeah, with the exception of, I think, rain or showers or something, that whatever makes tarnished sharks go away. I'm gonna actually do this. Because it's something about like tarnished sharks bite longer on krill and slightly less often, so it is more likely for the spectral currents to bite. I don't know. Tyoto and Pando explained it to me once, and it made sense at the time, and I just don't fully remember how to articulate it well enough here. But yeah, krill is actually better on Galadian Bay 90% of the time. Yeah, I actually need to dig into a fish. I need to get some clarification on, let's see if it actually came in. Should double hook that. I need to get some clarification on some data that came in. I was fishing for golden pipra this morning on my OCE account, and I noticed on Teamcraft that there's catches after 7. And I think Naboth Saw has that too. But what I'm trying to remember is if the data was updated, because I know Miu was talking about how the time data for Teamcraft, if you look at the chart, it's the timing's a bit weird, and I can't remember if it's when it's caught it records the time or when the cast before the catch was recorded, because at the moment it shows that there's catches between 7 and 7:15. Also, hey, Kyrie. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly which one it was, because I knew it was either showers or rain, and the icons to me look very similar, and I haven't committed those to memory. The argument right now is fishing isn't rocket science, so we shouldn't be spending this much time figuring it out, but it's what we do. All right, it's at the night. I feel like mussel is actually probably what I want to be going for, but I do need, well, I need those, so I might as well just grab that. Oh, I should be using this. Ooh, a Namazu. Did I overcap? I probably did. A comedy of errors in this. Okay. So that'll give me that. That. So now I just want to get Crow Shadow Mussel, which I want to bite. It's gonna be that. It's actually exactly that's what I wanted. I overcapped a smidgen, but that's okay. So I finished all 3 of my missions, and now I can just continue to fish up Pro Shadow mussels for points. Though since I don't have GP, I want to switch back to Krill because on Namazu are the higher single bite points. Okay, maybe maybe ocean fishing is rocket science. So the funny thing is, and although like a bit of fruity lore, is that I actually have a degree in astrophysics, specifically planetary sciences and astronomy. Some of that included rocket science, and there are some things that I'm just kind of like, okay, and I just kind of shake my head at because I'm like, that's statistics. I don't remember statistics well enough to take the time to comprehend that right now. I will just trust what Tyoto or other people who know what they're talking about will say. Oh, that's fun. The official Final Fantasy account liked my "there are literally dozens of us" gif on there. Fishers rise up. Yeah. Aro, I feel like you knew this. I feel like we've had this conversation specifically about the planetarium build. The little known fact is, it also is kind of very much flowchart gambling. One of my side projects is a planetarium, like a working planetarium. And I have the machine like built out and stuff. I just haven't had the chance to go in and do research and design a show. I know it's been months. I started it like what, last year, end of last year. I have 50 seconds left. I might as well just pop. Let's see. Let's pop this. We pop this. We will actually wait 3 seconds because I'll pop this. Do that. Go. And then the last thing I'll do is just triple hook whatever bites. Yeah, anything ocean fishing related, specifically with Tyoto or Pando, I'll just go like, okay, that makes sense, and then I didn't do it. I am not a professional ocean fisher. I do not try to be an ocean fishing expert. I will, terrestrial fish I will claim some expertise on, but ocean fishing I would be whatever the level below expert is. Anyways, I needed all those white script to buy some frames. That's 13K. Not the best, but I mean, 1,000 script. And a missed Taniwa bite is kind of sad, but oh well. All right, I still need a couple clown tetras. I think someone once compared Tyoto and I as being similar from opposite ends of the spectrum of just experts. I know a lot, and I just happen to be very loud. Tyoto knows a whole lot more and just doesn't speak as much. I think the phrase, the turn of phrase used was, I caught a clown tetra. I know. I'm going to see if I can get a high quality, if I can get a large size Uriops, because Ronka just popped. Might as well. How does someone describe it? I talk a lot. Kyoto actually says things or something like that. Anyways, Clown Tetra, if you're ever going for Greater Super Navranka, like it's up right now, Clown Tetra doesn't bite after about 8 seconds. So if you don't have anything by 10 seconds, just cancel it and start over. Like, this is probably not going to be it because it was after 8. Yeah. But I actually want Yellow Pipara, so it's okay. When in Ronka, do as the Ronkins do. Cancel your cast at 8 seconds. Ronkins, notable fishers. Also, was that a record for me? I just realized I didn't write that down. It was 13,936, I think. Where's my records for the Ruby Roots for Taniwa? One River. That's not even close. My best on that is 15K. Let me see. Do I have any Dark Dwellers? I'm not going to catch too many of these. Dark Star, Soul of Dark Knight, Dark Rider Clusters, all these Dark Browns. Faded copy of Blind to the Dark for some odd reason. No, I don't. Okay. Alright, that should be 4 Clown Tetra. Total. Let's go for a couple more. Ooh, actually, now that I say that, I search. Do I actually have a priest? I do. Okay. We don't have to stay here. I do, in fact, have a priest of Yakalakwa. You know, they're going to have a lore panel at FanFest, and I should have asked them, how the hell do you pronounce that name? Like, some of these fish are... like, none of these... like Priest of Yaklakwa, Uryops, boop-a-doop-a-doo. Side note, I really hope that either Silver Kitten or Record Killer get added as aquarium fish. Ooh, I can get some black tri-stars. Let's go do that right now. What do you prefer? Probably robber balls? I forgot Black Tristar was, in fact, a fish that can be caught. I also need lunch soon. Let's catch some of these fish, get them in, kind of tie up that aquarium a little bit. I don't remember anything about Black Tristar, so I'm just kind of blind catching anything here. Hello, Yellow Pipra, my old friend. Has no special conditions, so... The Raktika trout, was it affected by the flood of light? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, we do not in fact know if the Raktika trout was in fact affected. Ariops. Okay. Well, because Yapakwa is Ronkin. So I'm not 100% certain how to speak or understand Ronkin. I don't actually know much lore about the Ronkins in general. One of the things I do want to know is, I was mentioning this earlier, there's a fair bit of fish like Ampus Handmade, Diamond Tongue, Lakeland has a bunch too. All of the fish in Lakeland, like Elven Spear notably, Platinum Bream, Shade Gudgeon. That should be TriStar. Little Bismarck. They're all albino. And I want to know why. Because it's not even consistent. I would love to know why Lakeland is purple and all of these fish are albino. I take that back, here is the answer. But then the answer is, why, or then the next question is, why is not all of the fish albino? Because if they absorb it via the aether. So here's the thing, not all the fish that we thought were sin eaters aren't actually sin eaters. They actually make that clear, because you're thinking of Sin Spinner, which is in Crystarium. It isn't. They even say like they think it is a sin eater, but it's not. Also, hi. I am looking forward to seeing everybody at FanFest. Some fish are just built different, it seems, but I want to know why. So why is it so hard to catch a black TriStar? Jeez. I will look up black TriStar and see. What I need to be doing here. It might not be best on robber balls. Colossal. Am I even fishing to the right place? I am, yeah, okay. Spaghetti. I've never had to say your name out loud. That's actually a very good observation. I hadn't considered food chain implications, which if that is how this works in this game, I have absolute respect for Fisher Dev. Or continue to, at least. Okay, let's look at Raktika really quick. Sorry if you're wanting to actually see me fish. There. Let me see what black TriStar needs first before I vanish here behind my windows. Ironically enough, bait bugs might actually be better. But it is in fact just a really long. It's either night bass or a black TriStar is the really long bites. There it is. Let me triple hook that really quick. Okay, so spearfishing. Let's talk about Ampus Handmade. Let's also just ignore the fact that a lot of seasons are off in this. But Ampus Handmade, that's an error. I always have to look it up. Is it an Arapaima? Yes, it's an Arapaima. And Arapaima, are they technically predators? What do they eat? Fish, crustaceans, fruit, seeds, insects, and small land animals that walk near the shore. Ooh, it's an air breather. I didn't know. Science with Fruity. It is the top predator. Okay. Okay, so Arapaima is a predator. What about Diamond Tongue, which is an arowana? We're just gonna blindly click all these things. Whoa, tons of chat here, hold on. So Vixus, to answer your question specifically, what beam? Okay, so hold on. Are they going to add new ways to catch fish? Mechanically speaking, if they're going to add a new way to catch fish, they will tell us. Like that is kind of a precedent they set. They don't just add a new mechanic and not tell anyone about it. If they do, that would be really cool, but they typically don't. So if there's going to be a new way of catching fish, it's going to be using existing mechanics and ideas. There is some speculation that we could be getting another big fish or a big fish loop. The Garlemald fish is expected to be in the Elbenthaw, right next to Camp Broken Glass, and it's expected to. We're kind of expecting it to be I don't want Diamond Tongue, I want Ampus Handmade. A mooch loop off of Ice Rime Pike, which would make it basically another Ruby Dragon, depending on how it ends up working. Ampa's, I believe, is a large. Yeah. Everdark Bass is in fact an aquarium fish, so I need a few of those while I'm at it. So then here's the question. If Ampus Handmade is albino, and we assume that it is albino due to light aether, why is the Lotzel Peruku not? I think Iliad's gone. I don't think Iliad's gone was necessarily bad. I think it was rather boring. Like, that's my take. I have to say the only exciting Shadowbringers fish for the legendaries was Aquamaton. Like, that was it. There wasn't really anything else super exciting. Cinder Surprise technically isn't all that hard because it's literally just you show up, you catch some fish, and then you just slap and chum. I think that was kind of a byproduct of the fish eyes change, but that's completely different. Oops, I'm reading chat and trying to spear fish, and that's not going to work. There's one. It might not be, but so... Oh, I'm trying to do like 60 things at once here. Let me go find the next one. Aquamaton is a ton of fun. I think Lystracanthus is up there in terms of interestingness. Is this the Dark Halls? I don't think I need a fish here. Where am I? No, I don't need this. Lancet fish is lancet fish. I don't think it was... Lancet fish is like maybe 3. It's like 3rd. In terms of excitement, Cinder is, in my opinion, kind of boring. 2 Everducks? Nice. It is the curse of East Bronze Lake. Anytime they make changes to East Bronze Lake, fishing just overall breaks somewhere. The last time they made changes to East Bronze Lake, fishing there would crash the server. Fixed on the January 17th. No, January 19th, 2017, I think, patch. Yes, spaghetti. I think that's kind of what I would, that's probably how I would say that, is it's a lot of stuff that we've already seen and wasn't really new. I remember when you could fish in the spot next to the Limpsa Aetheryte and not crash the server. There was a place also, which we can swing by, in Limpsa. After they patched that, they patched it, but they didn't patch the corner fishing spot, which was less known. So if I take a quick detour, I'll show you where it was, because you can't fish there anymore. But right up here, next to the market board, it was really funny to just sit there and confuse the hell out of people. You could stand right around here, and if you kind of just rotated your camera like this while spamming the button to like start casting, you would eventually cast into this corner, and then you could just sit down and stare at the wall catching fish. And I did that for a while, making the joke that I was catching walleye. And then they patched that when they fully fixed Limpsa. But back to back to that. So yeah, so arowanas, I do also believe, are predators. If we Google pred, no? What's in their bait? Freshwater bony fish. They're known as bony tongues. We knew that. Elongated body, heavy scales, mosaic patterns. They're equipped with teeth, yeah. So they're definitely carnivores, and they do have lung tissues. I actually got to see some arowanas at the local aquarium shop a couple months ago. But they're surface feeders, and apparently are excellent jumpers. Okay, so to wrap that up before I forget, if we go to Norgrand, we look at, all right, Diamond Tongue. So yeah, so in Lake Tusimekta, there is Diamond Tongue and Ampus Handmaid are the only two that are actually albino. Let me get... So, Brendan, that's a good question, and I don't think so. But there might be one. Let me check in a second. maybe for Raktika, it literally is just a genetic mutation, but also because like you did mention, like it is old, so that would have been pre-flood, I think. I forget how long the flood is. Yeah, but it looks white. Like a lot of fish look white, or look albino. Lakeland, I definitely would bet that it's due to the food chain. That's actually a good part, a good thing to mention, because gudgeons, I believe, are maybe there's an aether thing because of. I mean, platinum bream, they just say they absorb the aether. I wonder if like Bismarck has anything to do with it. Inanimate objects as fish. There's if you're looking for something that was like turned into a fish, or like something that turned into a fish, maybe lamp marimo, because it's actually used in lamps. And then I want to just see here. I'm using the wrong thing. I was wondering if Queen's Gown might, but I don't think it is. It's not like Sunken Tome, which is literally... Are you not going to work for me? Oh, hold on. That's it. Where this was like literally like a book turned into a fish. Let me still search the gowns again. Okay. Inanimate objects. The only thing I could think of would be lamp marimo, maybe. And then the mog palms, which are thought to be discarded Moogles. It's actually kind of grim when you think about it. Yeah, technically a Quamaton would be an inanimate object as well. Okay, back to the exhibit. I want to talk. I do want to find a way to highlight the unique fish, but we have what, 5 fish? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, ignore those 2. I just caught those. I think I got them all. Yeah, the Ronkins were, that's why they're the only civilization outside of whoever was in Amarang and the Taloses to have machinations of some sort. All right, any other, any other aquarium fish that I might have missed before I add these in? Everdarks, we got. Ampus Handmade, we got. Got the yellows, got the clowns. I really wish that we had more Pururukus, because Arapaimas are cool as heck. I should have caught some Diamond Pipras because they were up for frames, but I'll deal with frames later. Yellows. Oh, and then Dark Dwellers. That was the one thing that we're missing. We are missing Dark Dweller, but it's not up. I wonder if the aquarium has one that I could liberate really quick. You get a peek inside of what the aquarium FC chest looks like. Check out the messages. See when people stop by. Almost full. Nope. We're almost at 42,000. I think as of last night, this is unrelated. But as of last night, we broke 125,000 likes across the entire thing. Okay, Dark Dweller, Dark Dweller, Dark Dweller, Dark Dweller. I don't actually know if we have any spares in here. Oh, we had a bunch of yellows. If I wanted to fake that one Piraruku, I would have to use a euphotic. Do we have anything? No, we don't. And noble fish aren't in Raktika. Okay. So I will have to make a note to go get some Dark Dwellers at some point. Let me actually see when they're up next. Dark Dweller, 14 hours. 3 a.m. I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. I'm not getting up at 2:30 a.m. I won't be able to catch them until Thursday, unless someone has any. Actually, let me see. Next time they're up, I'll have to go catch a bunch so I have a stock. Thank you, Mia. Gotta wear the building glam. Okay, so for the most part, I think this tank is only going to represent like absolutely all of the non-Ampa handmade fish in like Tusimeka, and it's going to focus primarily on Pipras. So here's a thing about aquariums that people typically don't know. The order in which you have the fish, or the place, this slot that you put the fish, if it isn't a large or an extra large, affects its location in tier 4 aquariums and tier 3s technically, and tier 2s. So if I put a fish up at the very top, like one of the small ones, it'll show up at the top, and it works its way down. So if I want to put something only at the top and at the bottom, you put it in the first slot and the fourth slot. It's not in order of it's not like the order you put them in is the order that you place them. An Angun, yeah, it probably is cheap on the market board, but I prefer to, it's just a thing where I just prefer to either catch the fish myself or get them from people who I know caught them themselves. Like, it's a weird thing, I know, but that's just kind of how I handle fish. So I don't actually need tri-stars, but if you want to kind of scape out your aquarium, Dark Dweller, not Deep Haunt, Dark Dweller. If you want to kind of scape out your aquarium, you can place the fish in specific order. So if I didn't want a fish way up at the top, I just don't put anything in the first slot. In this particular case, I'm going to. Everdark is a 2. Actually, and I want to put a Tetra up there because it's a Tetra are usually higher up, I believe. I think Tetra are not surface, or are more surface dwellers, or they just don't care. One of the two. I'll have to confirm that later. But so now I have 3, so I feel like the only thing I can put in is a Dark Star, and I don't, or a Black Tri-Star, and I don't feel like doing that. So what I'll do here is this. I really wanted to focus on the piranha in this tank. So we're going to do that. We'll do Tetra, we'll do an Everdark, and then we'll do a piranha. There we go. Now, when people come in, I want to really draw their attention like right away. And so for that, I'll want a flashy fish, which I think is where Ampa's Handmade is going to come in. So Ampa's a tier 3, so I'll be able to put some other stuff with it, like an Everdark Bass. And I don't like that position there, so I want to put it down low. So that way you can easily see both of them at one time. For here, we can just use some Tri-Stars. I might actually run out of fish. That'll be really funny. We'll do... I wonder if we should do double Tri-Stars. I don't know. Now here's what I want to decide is if it is cheating if I put a euphotic Piraruku in here to represent the other fish. Actually, did I put something over there? Maybe I could put it over here. Do I have one off the top of my head? No. Okay, I'm gonna go steal one. Because the euphotic Piraruku is basically the same model as the other one. Okay, that's fine, Mia. I'm gonna steal a euphotic Piraruku here. And we're just gonna pretend that it's a Lotzel, I believe it is. Lotzel Piraruku. Whatever it is called. Yeah, Lotzel. Lozidal? God damn it, Jim, I'm a fisher, not a linguist. And I know we have one. Where is it? There it is. We'll just take out one. And we'll pretend that that's it. Technically, it's not, but doesn't matter. They're the same size. Now that I say that. Hold on. Hold on. Large. We have more pure. Hold on. There's another one in here. There's another Arapaima that looks like that. Where is it? Cannot remember. Those are the sturgeons. I think Abelathian Spine has that one. Alright, so the euphotic can go there. Is that the only one that can actually go into a fish tank? It is. Darn. Okay. I thought that there was a smaller one that could fit in there, but I think I was thinking of Emperor Fish and Canaman. And I think it would be actually a fun little contrast here if we just put this guy on the opposite side, and we'll just pretend that it's a Lotzel, even though it's not. But this will basically be the deeper part Oh, see, now I say that. Now I'm wondering if I actually wanted to put this over on the other side. And then we could start on the surface, and here would, or like, not really the surface, but it would be like, this would be the euphotic. This would be the Ampus handmade. And so you would have like the just like, you would basically start at the surface and then go down. I actually wonder if that's a better idea. It is. And this is why I don't bury the fish tanks all that much. Because then what I'll do over here is I can put the black tri-stars here. Is that the right angle? Boop-a-doop-a-doo. And then just slot that back to where it was. And then move you over here. I put way too much thought into these. And we'll clip it so that some of the trees get in. The next relic will probably glow because the one before it did. It would be strange if they did it and not make it glowy. I don't know for a fact, though, what they're going to do, so please wait and find out. Yeah, that will work. And we can put like the dark dwellers in here, and then clowns, mix, fake Lotzel. Did I thought I put that over here. Did. Ampas, and then whatever else I decide to put there. So this tank now needs to have some more black tri-stars, and we'll put the dark dwellers there as well. We'll say we'll put them at the bottom because that'll be technically darker. And then here we'll put bass and tetras. I want to put you down at the bottom. Yeah, that's fun. So tri-stars, dark dwellers, tri-stars, tri-stars. And then so basically as we're moving through, you basically go surface level stuff, then you dive into the lake. You see, oh, an Arapaima. Oh, now a silvery Arapaima. And then whatever else I decide to add here, this will be a metal tank. And I think that's how the fishing will go. So I'll get dark dwellers and I'll probably throw them over there and over here. When I do that, there is frames I'll deal with later. I need to dye that. That needs to be dyed. Before I forget, this needs to be like pink, purple. Yeah. I'll have to deal with plant life a bit more. But we're pretty close to this being ready. Plant life, I will need to get a... boy, Ronka probably... Which size is Ronka? Large canvas. Oh, perfect. In that case, I can store you. I probably have a large angler's canvas. Who's on it? Let's play the game of who's on the angler's canvas. Opabinia, I will happily just get rid of. I don't. With the Sky Sung Rod, they made it really easy. I think they made it a whole lot easier to catch Opabinia. It's still really slippery, but they made it a ton easier to catch. So I'll put a Ronka there. Unless... I have another idea. Let's just throw this in front of it and make it like stand out even more. I think that might actually be really nice because then I can just hang it up higher, not have it worry about clipping into anything, and then I can focus on like other fish underneath it. And that gives me actually a lot more space. And then what I can do is pull out a stage panel. Is that gonna do anything? No. Actually, do I have beam? These. This'll do. And then I need the indirect lighting. It's still on, right? Yeah. And then we'll stuff that up there. Walk it over. Here. See you later. Spaghetti. Spaghetti. I can pronounce names. I'm gonna get that done by FanFest. I'm gonna get that properly pronounced. I will practice it in the mirror. There we go. So then I'll put the Ronka up there, which... It's a good question. Do I actually have a Ronka? Before I do that, do I have Ronka? Ooh, do not press that button. Some more, that's SETI. No, I don't. The Opabinia, I do not mind getting rid of. Ronka would be back here. And then underneath it, we could probably throw... Do I still have like a clawbow or something? Yeah. We could do a clawbow. What was the big fish there? Black jet. Do I have a black jet? I do. It is a small canvas. Even better. Unless I want to do just fish from... the lake. I think I will. So that means I would need... Oh, please don't tell me I didn't get rid of them. Arctica trout. Medium canvas. Perfect. And then I don't, oh, we don't get rid of a sea butterfly. I bet you that was my Madam Butterfly and I just overrode it. Whoops. It's fine. Yeah. Whoops, accidentally got rid of my Madam Butterfly. Didn't mean for that. Store you. Do I have one of these that I can just get rid of? What are you? The assassin? Oh, Mud Golem. Yeah, we don't need you. Whoops. Crap. Now I have to find it again. Nope, that's Chari. Is that the Sound of Fury? It is. We don't need the Sound of Fury. And that will be where a TriStar will go. Or Black Jet. Not high quality, is it? No. Do I have a second sea butterfly? I might. I don't. I have an old man in the sea though, that I can probably also get rid of. Black Jet would be in tab 2 right there. I don't want to get rid of my Pearl Pipra just because it's high quality and I hate it. Like, genuinely, Pearl Pipra has caused me much strife. What else do I have? I do have a Deep Haunt, but it's also, once again, high quality. I went out and caught all those black TriStars, and I have 20 of them sitting in my inventory. Why didn't that come up on iSearch? Why did you move over there? I'm going insane. Things are moving in my house. Let's see, that's centered. Yeah, that'll do. Get eaten by my thing here for a second. Black Jet, okay. That might move. I might replace that with like a this year or something like that. I'm gonna have to throw a priest somewhere. That's the other thing I need to check. Do I have frames? I don't, so I'll have to grab those later as well. Go with you later. Yeah. All right. I'm pretty happy with how this is going so far. I don't think I've used my other indirect light, so I could add a second one down there. Yeah, because this is all loft. I don't think I left it in here. Nope. Jump through the window. And I think it might actually be here. Nope. Okay, cool. So do I have a second indirect? No. Okay, so I'll pick one of those up later. Doink, 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 doink. So I need Dark Dweller still. What? What's happening? What is going on here? Things are moving. I put that in last night, so it's not like I just put it in fresh, which means I had to have accidentally grabbed it with something. Where did that loft go? Or is the game telling me, no, it's ugly, don't? Let's actually see what it looks like. I guess. See, it's empty here. I need something here. Maybe I'll keep that. I don't know. Oh wait, I have a hermit crab right here. These are all too small. You have to be a small. Goodbye, magic bucket. And what I'll do is I will move you. I'm still thinking about this. And I probably won't do anything with it today. Or right now. You are gonna go here. And you'll go over here. With the record killer. I'll just throw you over here. Okay. Yeah, museum really is haunted. I'll figure out what I'm gonna put over there. Because I really liked how it looked. Oh, I probably have a bucket somewhere. They're not... Bucket... Catching a bucket for me isn't that, like, it's like a whatever. I think I have a few thousand, like a few hundred brute leech, I think. Do I have any brute leech? Yeah, 150, that'll be enough. Okay, so I think that's gonna be it for now. I still need to work on lighting. Obviously, I need to get another tier 4 tank to throw in the corner here. Lighting, probably a bit more with the color. I want to change the wood to match closer to what the trees look like underwater, which is either going to be darker or lighter depending on how I go. Probably do the same thing with the trunks as well. Might add a couple of more, because this back area right here feels really empty now without that. So I need to rework what's around this tank here. But yeah, here's what we've gotten so far today. Got the black tri-stars. Bunch of little clowns. This will all be updated. But we got a record killer and a black jet there already. I think that's Rhyme Pike. Or Duskfish. Duskfish. Our piranha tank, which I adore greatly. Not Lotzel, Pururuku, Ampus Handmaiden, Screewall, and then whatever this back corner is going to end up being, which I don't know yet. I just don't know. I'll have to think on it. And then Mora friend. But that's it for now. I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna go have some lunch and probably play some Final Fantasy 16. I will hope everyone has a good week. And yeah, good luck and happy fishing. If you have any, again, if you're going to be doing, if you're going to be at FanFest, I am doing a fishing meetup. Like I was saying, there's about 66, 67 people have signed up already. So if you're going to be at FanFest, it'll be Thursday night, July 27th at 6 p.m. local at the Mandalay Bay Aquarium. It costs $16. Please, please, please RSVP ahead of time, because if you don't, you might not. You probably won't be able to get a ticket at that price. and you'll have to pay full price, which you might not even be able to do because there's going to be a bunch of us there to begin with. So yeah, FanFest is in a little over 2 weeks. Nightmare. That's terrifying. And so if you're gonna be there, I hope to see you there. If not, I hope you watch the stream and maybe see us. I don't know. But thank you everyone for hanging out here for the past few hours as I work on this exhibit a little bit more. This will probably open up by the end of the week at the Nature Museum in Goblet on Marlborough. So be on the lookout for that announcement. And see you. Have a good week, guys.